Breaking news.
We begin with this breaking news for the city of Lexington. Federal officials announcing just hours ago that the city's police department violated the civil rights of its residents through excessive force and intimidation.
Violating the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments, investigators found outstanding warrants for more than half the town's residents because of fines they haven't and in many cases couldn't pay. The Department of Justice investigation determining that police used excessive force, unlawfully stopped, searched, and arrested residents, and did so almost exclusively toward black residents. Officers also retaliated against those criticizing the police department too, and used the fines and fees from these discriminatory arrests to fund the department. Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark says residents owe the police department $1.7 million in outstanding fines and keeps people behind bars when they cannot pay.
The police must enforce the law even-handedly, not based on generating revenue. Lexington, though, focused its law enforcement on strategies that generated income, even at times linking police officers' paychecks to the number of arrests they made. Over the past 2 years, Lexington has made nearly one arrest for every 4 people in town, more than 10 times the per capita arrest rate for Mississippi.
Now, federal officials say Lexington's police department and city have agreed to cooperate and address these challenges, but it's not clear what that will look like at this point.